Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. So the past day I've been working on some videos for you guys. We talked about trading for potentially Mikal Bridges. We talked about Paul George. Next we're going to get into Cat. We're going to get into Devin Booker. We're going to talk about pretty much any single player that could be a possibility for the Knicks because the goal is to improve the roster. The Knicks, they don't want to go backwards. They won 50 games. They were a game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't look to improve. And if the Knicks were to lose OG Anunoby, which is going to be the main focus of today's video, then they certainly would be taking a step backwards. You have to realize that the Knicks were at their best this season, and really at their best, I would say, in the past couple of decades with OG on the court. Remember the month of January with Randall and OG? This team was 16-2. The Knicks didn't lose back-to-back games with OG playing. And he came in a trade, of course, in the second half of the season. Like, it's pretty crazy to think about. The Knicks were the #1 ranked defensive team. OG was also giving us, 15 to 17 a night. He could knock down the open three ball, but his defense was clearly what separated him from everyone else. His defense on the perimeter, on guards, on big men even. He made it even difficult on Embiid throughout that series. Pretty remarkable. But the only issue for OG is that he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And he can test the open market. The Philadelphia 76ers is a team that has come up. They can offer him a lot of money. There's no guarantee that OG is going to return to the Knicks. Now, that's not to say that he is going to leave, but right now the Knicks are the front runners, of course, because of his relationship with Knicks management and his agent and things like that. But just who knows to this point what's going to happen in the Knicks. Isaiah Hartenstein could leave in free agency. OG could leave in free agency. And now all of a sudden you need two starters. Not only do you need a starting center, we need a starting small forward. Of course, we've got Brunson, DiVincenzo, Julius Randle is going to play that four, but that's two open spots. Mitchell Robinson, is he going to be a guy that can be counted on every single night? I mean, who really knows at that point, right? I think the best case scenario for the Knicks would be to pay up for OG, essentially whatever it costs. Probably $35 million a year is what it's going to come down to. That's just a lot of money. I mean, the fact that Brunson, as of right now, is making about $27 million a year. OG is going to get 35, but that's just how the market is. Brunson's next contract, obviously, is going to pay more, but I think a fully healthy Knicks starting five of Brunson, Devo, OG, Randall, and Hartenstein, with a Hart coming off the bench, Bojan Bogdanovic, Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, assuming these guys come back, and then, of course, going ahead and moving maybe even a couple of the draft picks for Kyle Kuzma or a player of that stature, a guy who's won a championship, a guy that can score the basketball. I mean, we're going to be able to beat anyone. I personally did not fear the Boston Celtics until, obviously, we lost against Indiana when OG got injured and just Brunson got injured. But like prior to that, we were up 2-0. And at that point in time, I was thinking, man, we've got a real chance at Boston. But then we, of course, Andrew Nembar hit a 35-foot game winner, and OG was expected to miss more time than we originally thought. Game 7, OG comes back, but he was nowhere even close to being ready to come back, and we just never had a fair chance. And the Knicks, when we saw them, even without Mitch, but they still had everyone else, they were dominating. It wasn't like the Knicks were just winning by a couple of points. No, they were the #1 ranked defensive team. They were blowing teams out by 15. Even we saw them beat the Nuggets by 44 points. So OG's significance is huge, not only from his defense, but it's also the fact that we traded Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett. I mean, that's two of our future pieces. I mean, RJ Barrett, we used the 3rd pick on the draft on. He was our 2nd option in the playoffs the year before that. Emmanuel Quickly was the finished runner-up to 6th man of the year behind Derek White. Emmanuel Quickly was a guy that was giving us 3-point shooting, elite defense, leadership, efficiency, you name it. I mean, IQ had been playing so well, but in the playoffs, man, he got injured. But before that, he was even nowhere to be found. RJ Barrett is a guy that was a little bit streaky. I feel like RJ had the potential to be an all-star, but he just never could consistently piece together the right amount of stretches. He was either off or he was on. So you move those guys, you get OG, you understand that, hey, look, he's a free agent, but he puts us in a situation to win a championship. Our defense at the time had been struggling. Let's go out there and acquire him. And it did work out until the injury. But if I'm the Knicks, it's just such a difficult situation, because do you go out there and do you pay OG whatever it takes? Or do you say, hey, look, we'd love to have you back, but we understand that you are injury prone. We understand that you're not really worth that amount of money, so we're going to go ahead and let you walk. that would open up a ton of opportunity financially for the Knicks. But I just find it hard to believe that OG is not going to be in a Knicks uniform next season. The Knicks need him, and they're going to do whatever it takes. This is a team that does not want to go backwards. If we lose OG on the screener here as he gets into the passing lane and throws it down, this game was awesome, by the way. We were up 30 points going into the fourth quarter, and then we ended up resting our starters, and the Celtics put up 38 in that quarter. But yeah, we were just absolutely giving it. This is a top 5 NBA defensive and offensive team, and Jalen Brunson just having none of it puts KP on skates. Jaylen Brown, who won Finals MVP. I mean, this game was one of my favorite of the season. I mean, the significance of it wasn't that high because Boston had clinched the 1 seed. Obviously, the Knicks were. It was a game that the Knicks wanted to go out and get, just to say, hey, look, man, we're not ducking. You guys know what, but. This game right here, I remember this game a little bit. I mean, didn't the Bulls beat us before that? And then we kind of got them back. But I just miss watching Knicks basketball. It's been 30 days since the New York Knicks played a basketball game. And the Knicks are a huge part of my life. But this season, this was the best season that they've had since I've been alive. So I just was so used to just every single day, let's talk about the Knicks. So used to every single day, let's watch the tape and the film and the interviews and the process. And all of a sudden, it's gone. But we've gotten back to it. Even during the finals, we were making videos, but now that it's the offseason, technically every single day we're going to be dropping at least 1 to 2 potential free agent signings, draft picks that we can make, trades, things and that. I know some of them are unrealistic. No, I don't think Mikal Bridges is going to be a Knick, but if he does become available, the Knicks could offer multiple first-round picks. They could offer Randall, they could offer Boyan, and that's a bit better offer than most teams are going to be able to get, because yeah, teams are going to be able to give up first-round picks, but they're going to be able to give up an All-NBA player and an All-Star and Julius Randle. I mean, for the Nets, it doesn't seem like they're trying to go into an all-out rebuild because they've got a ton of cap space in the 2025 offseason. They've got enough picks to be able to work with. So this is a team that Cam Thomas is eligible for an extension. They're going to bring back Nicholas Claxton, who's a restricted free agent. So, I mean, I don't think the Nets are going to trade Bridges, but at the same time, they've lost 50 games or more 2 seasons in a row. So we're just going to look at every single player and sort of break down their fit with the Knicks. Do I think it's realistic? Do I think it's not? As of right now, I do think that the Knicks are going to actively try to make a big trade because that was reported that this was the summer that the Knicks were gearing up for a massive trade. If the Knicks do not make that massive trade, then it will happen at the deadline. But that doesn't mean that the Knicks are going to overpay for someone, right? If the right player is available at the right cost that fits what we're trying to build, the Knicks will make that move. Right now, I think there's 2 players, and I'm talking about big name players, that the Knicks are going to look to target. I think it's going to be Karl-Anthony Towns, and then I think it's going to be Devin Booker. But those guys have to become available. But if they are available, I could see the Knicks sending Julius Randle would be in that trade, but he'd have to be financially, and then we could also do Bojan Bogdanovic. We have until the 27th to make a decision on picking up his contract. The only reason we'd pick it up is to trade him, though. We're not picking it up because it's, I mean, yeah, he was a good player, shot about, like 37% in the playoffs, didn't really play much because he got injured, but we'll end the video here, though. I'll get into that a little bit more in the next video. But yeah, my next video will be Devin Booker, and then my video after that will be Karl-Anthony Towns, just so you guys are aware. But any Knicks news that drops like this, I will get out to you guys. It's your boy Knicks Daily signing out. Have a great night, boys. Peace.